darling. I hope you're doing well. I noticed that although I assigned you homework that is due today, I never properly introduced myself. I am Monday the doula. I am a licensed health promotion and education specialist and a certified doula here in the state. And I will be teaching a kind of mini course that is very near and dear to my heart. It is the Fertility Awareness Method. So this class will be Fertility Awareness 101. Okay, so I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone to my page and to the class. I know that everybody is very interested in all of these courses and it seems very overwhelming. So I want to make this as fun and kind of elective-like as possible. If you saw my video from last week, I mentioned kind of think of me as a TSA. We will be covering course material, but it is not required for you to have this material. I have the entire book that we will be going through, notes and all. So today is the day that I just needed one thing from you. So I hope that you did your homework so that we can go through today's lesson. So I will be utilizing this template for example. This is an example of how you can lay out your chart. This is optional. This is just what has worked best for me in keeping track. You can do what is according to the book if you'd like, which I can show later on in the course. But for right now, we are just tracking our numbers. So this template was the simplest way for me to do it. Starting with the first thing, you write the month. This is a fictitious example, so let's just pretend. We write the month, we write the cycle number. So this is the first number in the cycle. As you progress forward, we're going to talk about cycle length, but you can write it right now. I don't want you to focus too heavily on it, but you can write it as a line, cycle length. Underneath that, you're going to write when your period starts and when your period ends. What I like to do also is incorporate dates that you have intercourse. If you are sexually active, you can basically just have as many lines as you'd like. You also want to do herbs and vitamins. If you take any, you can keep track of that here. Brief pause. The reason I write herbs and vitamins is for later use as well. If you don't take any herbs, don't feel pressure to start. We will be discussing herbs later on in this course as well. But for me, there are some herbs that I take that are strategically placed for what I need for my body. So that is why I keep track of that. Moving on. The homework that was due for you was to just write down your waking temperature. So when you rose this rising, you should have immediately reached for your thermometer before you even reach for your toothbrush and taken your rising temperature. For me, that would have been 97.8, and we are just keeping track of this number for now. Your homework for tomorrow will be to do the same, keeping track of, for the February 2nd, Happy Black History Month, we are going to be keeping track of that number as well. Next class, we will be discussing what these numbers mean, whether they mean you are in ovulation, pre-ovulation, post-ovulation. We will be getting into that topic. But for right now, I want you to just take track of your cycle. This is step number 1 in taking charge of your fertility. There are 3 steps. The other 2 are a little more complex. So if you do not stay consistent with step number 1, 2 and 3, you're on birthday. So tomorrow we are waking up. Within 5 minutes of waking up, we'll be taking our temperature either with the beep beep or under the tongue. Then go get your water, brush your teeth, do all the other stuff. These classes, like I don't even know if I mentioned, will be very short format TikTok social media format. So 1 to 10 minutes. I like to keep it brief. If you would like a longer, more detailed covering of taking charge of your fertility, you can be sure to follow and subscribe to me on Fanbase. I will be covering a full in-depth course of this book. So I'm talking 20, 30, sometimes even hour-long courses. We will be covering how to look over your chart when you're taking your waking temperature. We will be looking over what all of these different birth control methods are and what they mean. I talk about this stuff because I have studied this for years, almost 10 years, and everybody who I have talked to has expressed how difficult it can be to further understand this stuff. So I am breaking it down in format so that it is easy for people to understand. We will be talking about these kind of topics and showing pictures that I can't show here. So that is the author. And if you are following, watching, or supporting for these classes, I greatly appreciate it. But I do want you to know that this content will be based on more than just that one thing. I love to crochet. I actually have this crochet project that I am finishing now, and I have items that I have to do for summer. So you can follow along to keep track of that. You can follow along just for my day-to-day doula tips and doula life. I also talk about herbs on here and just other girly stuff, fashion, makeup. Sometimes I always need help with makeup, so I always appreciate anybody who gives tips. But yes, this is not mandatory. I will be covering it in the class with you to break it down. I will be showing pictures. I will be showing templates that she gives. We'll be talking about birth control, herbs, different kinds of things. So there are other things that we will be discussing in this class that are not simply in this book as well. Like I stated in my previous videos, I have been doing this work for over 10 years now. So there are other things that we can dive into that I would love to share, love to build community around, especially in times like these. So again, happy Black History Month, happy February. Make sure you subscribe to my fan base to get longer form content on covering how to take charge of your fertility and what that means, all the different avenues, all of the different ways that you can heal yourself, all the different ways that you can promote pregnancy, prevent pregnancy, enjoy, better, longer, more enjoyable for you, different ways that you can test your fertility on your own, hormone balance on your own, just an amazing array of information and knowledge. So I will be teaching a mini course here on this, and over on Fanbase at Monday Baby. You can follow me over MONDA, because I am Monday the Doula, MONDAEBABY. MONDAEBABY. Of course, I will have put the thing on the page way earlier. But yeah, this is the book again, if you wanted to copy it yourself, but obviously it's not mandatory. Only thing that were mandatory were the two things I required in the video before: paper and your thermometer, so that you can take track of your temperature every day when you wake up within 5 minutes of waking up. So until class later, I thank you so much for watching and supporting. Let me know what you think of the skirt. Give me any crochet tips. I know my crochet girlies are out there. And yes, until next time, see you. Peace, darling.